Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/relationship advice, where OP just dodged a tactical nuke. Let's begin. I threw my pregnant girlfriend out because she refuses to pay rent or her share of the bills. Posted by a throwaway Reddit account.
I posted here a few weeks ago about her canceling our plans to pick her sister up. She eventually came round to admitting to being in the wrong, begged for forgiveness, and told me it wouldn't happen again. I was reluctant to accept her apology because it took about a week for her to come up with it, but I took it and moved on. What I didn't mention and probably should have was she's 15 weeks pregnant. Since then, things have been pretty much back to normal. However, Christmas Eve, I discovered my clothes and trainers in the wardrobe had been moved around, not something I'd have done. I knew she'd been wrapping gifts for her family in there. It's a walk-in wardrobe in the spare room. I know she can struggle for money sometimes, and my first instinct was she'd been going through it to find something to give to her brothers, as most of it still has tags on. The trainers are still boxed too. That night I looked through her Facebook Messenger and she's taking pictures of my trainers, asking her mom if her brothers will fit them because I don't like it. I do like them, I just haven't had chance to wear it. Her reply was, "I'll wrap them up then." Also asking if the exact size I am in clothes will fit her brother was on the messages, making me think she's stolen other things. I don't even know half of the clothes I have, so it's pretty hard for me to look and know what's missing, and a lot are with tags on and brand new. I confronted her about it that night, told her exactly what I saw, that my clothes had been moved around and the messages of her taking photos of my trainers. She said her mom was asking what trainers I wore to buy me some. What she didn't expect was me to pull up the screenshots with her reply of saying she's going to start wrapping them and asking them if they'll fit her brother. She then admitted she was going to, but realized it was wrong, and it wasn't because I confronted her about it. I looked at her phone yesterday while she was asleep to see if there's any mention of anything that's been taken, and she tells her mom he wants to keep the trainers now, with all previous messages deleted. She keeps denying it was because I confronted her that she didn't give them away, and she's denying she's stolen anything else, saying I'm blowing it up into something it isn't and she'd never steal. She says the reason she asked was because she gave a gift intended for me to her brother, but she's refusing to show me the transaction or receipt for that. Tonight, I told her unless I see proof she's bought gifts for her brothers herself, I'm going to presume she's a thief and she's stolen from me. She's adamant she hasn't and that I'm being pathetic and she'll show me proof, but not when I ask for it and in her own time. That was the last straw for me, so I asked her to pack up and leave. She has somewhere safe to go because she can stop with her family for now. I'm being called dramatic and basically the one who's in the wrong. She's pregnant, and for the sake of the child, I've been trying to work things out, but this is the last straw for me. Today she's messaging me that she's canceled the baby's scan to go away and live with her sister. I'm pathetic. She's not lying but can't show me the receipt, and if I'm breaking up with her, she's free to do what she wants. She's saying I have no proof, despite me seeing the messages. She's also saying she only considered it and stopped herself despite me seeing she'd replied after I confronted her, saying she'll have to give her brother something else because I now want to keep them. This is the way she acts to most things when she's in the wrong. Manipulation and not accepting fault for days where I'll refuse to speak to her. She is caring and hasn't really given me other reasons not to trust her, but this has broken my trust massively. How can I get over the fact that my trust has been completely broken? TLDR, girlfriend stole from me to give as gifts to her brothers, caught her taking photos and messaging her family about what she was planning to take, and I'm not sure if we can ever rebuild trust after this. Edit. I know everyone is telling me to get a paternity test and I understand why. She's never really given me a reason to suspect she's cheated. It's something I do now because she's broken my trust, and it's something I've said in a heated argument. The problem is she's told me that if I don't believe the baby is mine, she won't consent to a test and she'll stop any access to the baby and my name won't go on the birth certificate. Now for OP's first update. I posted here a few days ago about her stealing from me, prioritizing her family over me and our relationship, and was I wrong for throwing her out? Over the past week I've given her numerous chances to own up. I've told her I know what she did whether she admits it or not, but at least if she admits it I can consider her a more honest person. It's been days and she's still denying she took anything whilst refusing to show me proof. I wanted to see her face to face today to see how she responded when I told her whether she admits it or not. I know she stole from me, so she can either own up with a chance of saving the relationship or deny it. but I'll then know what she's really like. I asked her to see proof of what she actually bought if she really didn't steal anything, and she just keeps repeating, "I don't have to show you anything." That was the last straw for me. I've given her chance after chance to own up and confess, and she refuses, saying she isn't going to admit to something she hasn't done and won't be bullied into owning up to something she hasn't done. She keeps coming back night after night for clothes, so I've told her to take everything because that's it. I told her if she can't show me she's decent enough to own up to what she has done, then there's no chance for us. I later got a text telling me I was a piece of shit. She's considering aborting the baby and she can't believe I care so little about her to be moving on. She said I've caused her stress when she's pregnant. The thing is, I'm not sure if it was right for me to give her the chance to own up, show me she can be a decent person, and wait for the past few days hoping she would. I'm not sure how to move on from her. TLDR, girlfriend stole from me. I've given her multiple chances to admit to it and prove she can tell the truth, but she's committing to the lie and I think I need to move on. Now for OP's second update. Long story short, my girlfriend and I have been living together for around 10 months. When she first moved in, she insisted on paying rent and I was reluctant to charge her if it didn't work out, but she forced it and paid a month. Then I found out she's struggling for money, unable to pay for things, is in a lot of debt, and lives month to month. She agreed with me that she'd start when she clears the debt. Fast forward to Christmas, I find out she's been stealing my clothes to give to her family as gifts. Another post on here. She lied for 2 weeks, blaming me, until I showed her footage of her taking the things from the camera in the living room too. I later then discover through letters and texts I've seen appear on her phone she's been doing nothing to pay any of it off, so I confront her. She tells me and shows me messages that her mother and sisters constantly guilt trip her into giving them money and have for years. They'll message her on payday asking for it and she feels bad saying no, despite none of them ever paying it back. Her mum alone owes her over 6,000 British pounds. She has taken a ton of loans out for her family and they leave her with the debt and don't pay it back. Luckily her credit is now at the point where nobody will loan to her, but she still tries and does it for them. I also found out, I went through her finances. Yes, I shouldn't have, but something wasn't adding up and I was being lied to. That in the space of 20 minutes she spent 300 British pounds on gambling sites. All during this time she isn't paying a penny towards rent, bills, or anything. She'll occasionally buy food, shopping, or trips out to Starbucks. I tell her enough is enough and she needs to start paying her way. If she can give handouts to her family and gamble, she can pay for where she lives, and she's taken me for a ride when she should have been saving and clearing debts. I make roughly 5 times what she does, but I've been fair in that the bills are split proportionally to income. She'll earn 1,400 British pounds per month and pays 600 British pounds, which includes rent and her share of the bills. I take on the rest, which is substantially more, but I believe it's not fair to take more. On the 1st of this month she tells me she can't pay rent. She says she's paid out too much on our trips to Starbucks, food shopping, and I'll get it when I get it, but she doesn't understand why I need it this month when she's lived for free the past 9 months anyway. I've asked her to explain where her money has exactly gone, but she tells me, "You're controlling and it's none of your business." In fairness, she will pay when we go food shopping but rarely in comparison to me. I've kicked her out as of yesterday and told her she needs to find somewhere to live. She is however pregnant, and she's using that card as a way to guilt trip me and make out I've thrown out her and my child onto the streets. In my opinion, she is taking me for a ride and prioritizing her family, that is, using her over her own family she's started. What's the solution here to getting her to see she's not treating me fairly? TLDR, girlfriend hasn't paid rent for 9 months whilst she was supposed to be clearing debts. Instead, she was giving money to her family, gambling, and I've thrown her out because she's refusing to pay again. She is pregnant. And now, for OP's third update. I sat her down and gave her an ultimatum early last week. I explained to her that we are a family, and became a family when she decided to have a baby with me. I told her if we're going to stay together, she's going to have to be a lot more open, contribute, and no more taking on debt she can't afford, which brings it to my door when she can't pay. I also told her I want to see her bank statements because I suspect she has a gambling problem and is in some serious debt. She agreed to all of this and committed to showing me the bank statements when I ask, and says going forward, she'll pay towards bills. I believe she's turned a corner and started getting along with her better, and she moves back in.
That's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
As I was sat next to her phone last night when she went to grab a drink, her phone lit up with a text message. It read, "Loan accepted by ex-lender, click here to accept." I immediately called her out and she started crying, telling me she has no money left again for the month and she's had to resort to payday loans for some money. I told her she should have come to me and told her I explicitly said no more loans. She also tells me she won't be able to afford to pay towards bills again. She works full-time and brings home around 12 to 14,000 British pounds a month depending on hours, but a lot of the time she phones sick so gets sick pay, which is a lot less. I ask to see her bank statements and she refuses, telling me I'm being controlling by asking when she's told me and I don't need to see them. That's the last straw for me. I'm almost certain she's been giving it away at this point again or gambling. I give her a scenario: your baby is starving and needs food and there's none in the house. What are you going to do? She replies, "You'll have to pay." That's fine, I'll happily support my son, I tell her, because the mother is clearly a deadbeat. So I ask to see her Facebook Messenger to see if her family has been hitting her up for free money again. And conveniently all of the family members that borrow from her have the chats cleared. She says she deletes them to be tidy, yet mine's still there. I told her this isn't going to work. She tells me I'm a controlling freak basically, and she agrees, and I've not heard from her since. The moral of the story is she's too damaged from her upbringing, I'm guessing, and some people you just can't change. She still messages me asking how I am, but I'm just ignoring her except from anything baby related. I need to move on. I know a lot of people questioned whether she's pregnant. How stupid I was to get her pregnant. I agree, and if it's mine. I've been to every scan so I know she's pregnant. As for if it's mine, I've never suspected cheating, but she's a serial liar, so I will be forcing a DNA test through the courts. I posted on a couple of different subs to make sure I wasn't getting biased opinions. The above story is 100% true. I wish it wasn't, believe me, but my focus is now getting as far away as possible from her for my own sake.
My goodness me, that woman is a walking red flag. Thank God you're not married to her, OP. And please get the DNA test done. Trust me, you do not want to be bound to this woman forever. And even if the kid is yours, which I highly doubt, make sure to file for full custody and get the best lawyers you can afford. She can't raise that kid. And I'm 100% sure that she will do the exact same thing her parents are now doing to her. So be very careful, OP. Or better yet, move to a faraway place. Also, check with your banks. She might have taken loans out of your name as well. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.